Good morning, everyone. It's 11 o'clock. If everybody could settle in their seats. So, good morning. I'm Carl Katz. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. And our first song is going to be In My Room by the Beach Boys, likely written by Brian Wilson and recorded, believe it or not, in 1963. And I just listened to it on the way here, and it sounds incredible. So, here we go. Sing along if you know it. If you know the harmonies, do them. In my room, in my room, in this world I've locked out all my worries and my fears. In my room, in my room. Now it's dark and I'm alone, but I won't be afraid. In my room, in my room. Thank you. Barb, I don't know how you did that. You sneezed in time to the music. That was really good.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. It's lovely to see so many of you out on such a lovely, lovely Sunday. Welcome, one and all. If you're joining us for the very first time, a very warm welcome to you. Dorothy's mom is in the room. And if you are returning after a short while or a week or a day, welcome back. It's wonderful to see you all. And if you are joining us online, either live or sometime in the future, then a very warm welcome to you as well from all of us here at Unity in New Westminster, British Columbia. Come and join us sometime if you're ever in the Vancouver area. We'd love to see you. We are here every week to consider ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example, and we honor that there is wisdom to be found in faith traditions all over the planet. There's wisdom to be found in song and in story and in our own life experiences. Wherever we choose to look, if we are open to it, wisdom is waiting for us if we choose to see it. We honor every person's right to choose their own life path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. And our hope is that you leave here with tools that you might consider for calm, connected, and contented living. Let us begin our service today in a time of centering prayer. We begin with gratitude. Gratitude that We are in the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. We give thanks for this land. We give thanks for this place, for the opportunity to gather in person at this little white church on the corner. In this place, we laugh together, we learn together, we sing together, and we are reminded of our oneness. We embrace the idea that there is only one power, that whatever our understanding may be for the creative energy which forms us and in which we live, we embrace that it is one. And it is from this oneness that we extend a blessing for love, a blessing of peace, of healing to every being on this planet. Embracing our oneness, we resolve to see beneath the labels that so often divide us, to our shared humanity. And from this love, from this connection, for this love and for this connection, we give thanks. And we say, Amen. I'm in. I'm going to invite Chelsea to come and read the daily word for us.
Hello, I'm Chelsea. Good morning. Today's daily word theme is resilient. Courageous and strong, I am resilient. Everyone who gets knocked down from time to time has the choice whether to give up or get up. Getting up and gathering the strength and desire to try again is resilience. Spiritual living helps me build it. Claiming divine ideas in prayer, engaging the power of my imagination to envision my success, and using my wisdom and will to discern the best way forward and choose it all help me to be resilient in the face of defeat and discouragement. Through the power of the Christ within, I am willing to keep trying until I succeed. I understand setbacks happen to everyone. I do not let them deter me or take a failed effort personally. I am strong and capable of doing what I set my mind to. I am resilient. This reading was inspired by the first book of Corinthians, chapter 16, verse 13. Keep alert, stand firm in your faith, be courageous, be strong. And this other reading was inspired by Segarra, chapter 8, verse 16. These are the things that you shall do. Speak the truth to one another. Render in your gates judgments that are true and make for peace. Now, let's enjoy the song, Time in a Bottle.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day till eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words couldn't make wishes come true. I'd save every day like a treasure, and then again I would spend them with you. But it never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Looked around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with. If I had a box just for wishes, dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with.
Would you close your eyes with me if that feels comfortable? And if you prefer to leave them open, allow them to rest gently on a place in front of you. As we move into a time of quiet meditation, and we give ourselves this gift of a peaceful pause. Notice your breath and how that gentle rhythm feeds and renews you. Just notice that flow. And with every breath, allow your body to sink deeper into your seat. Notice if there is a part of your body that feels tense, and encourage it to relax. Now draw your attention to your thoughts and your thinking. And rather than stop that thinking and suppress it, notice it. And then allow yourself and your attention to sink a little deeper into your body. Today, take the words of this song that we just heard. A love song. And imagine that you are singing it to yourself. To the very highest expression of who you are. to the part of you that's eternal, the part of you that knows that love is all that you are meant to be. And as I read the words, imagine that you are singing this to you. If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do is to save every day until eternity passes away, just to spend them with you. If I could make days last forever, if words could make wishes come true, I'd save every day like a treasure. And then again, I would spend them with you. There never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. I've looked around enough to know that you are the one I want to go through time with. Imagine the you that is love, connecting with the you that sometimes forgets. And imagine singing this love song to yourself, to Spirit, to Creator, to whatever your understanding of God might be. That you're the one I want to spend time with. That although there never seems to be enough time to focus on the things that truly matter, when we look around enough, we know that love, with our wholeheartedness, is what we want to spend time with. The good news is that we have the box made for wishes. And if we could remember to connect with that eternal love that is who we are, then all of our unfulfilled wishes would be non-existent. The box would be empty, except for the memory of how they were answered by you. by love, by spirit, by who you are. And as we move into a time of silence, I invite you to rest in the love of yourself for yourself. And when you hear the reprise of this beautiful love song, let it be a song that you hear sung to you. You're the one I want to go through time with. Say that to yourself. You're the one I want to go through time with.
If I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. But there never seems to be enough time to do the things you want to do once you find them. Around enough to know that you're the one I want to go through time with.
Metaphysical interpretation, which is something that we like at Unity, is the ability to take anything and find ourselves in it. So whenever you hear a love song that touches your heart, sing it to yourself, because that's the place where we've been looking for love in all the wrong places. The place we want to look for it is inside ourselves. And I digress. Have you ever noticed that when you meet someone and you say, "How have you been?" often what you hear is, "Busy, busy, busy. I'm so busy." I see some guilty-looking faces at the back. Sometimes we say it as if it's a badge of honor, as if being over busy is what really matters. And at times, it is important that we are busy. But to think that busyness equates meaning, or that busyness is equal to happiness, or that busyness means that we matter more in some way, then I think that we're missing the mark a little bit. The truth is that many of us rush through life from one thing to another, and maybe I'm speaking about myself to some extent, because I tend to be fairly full in my calendar. But I don't think of it as busy, I think of it as full. Language is important when it comes to busy, 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 which feels like it has no power, that you have no power, where full and productive feels more powerful for me. Nonetheless, what's true is that I have to remember and make a real conscious effort to take time to be still. And if we don't take time to be still, sometimes what happens is we go along a path, so far down a path that we don't even remember where we started or why we started down that path in the first place. And taking time to kind of take a breath and take stock is a really important way of ensuring that the path that we're on is the one we actually want to go on. Sometimes we end up missing out on the things that really matter to us because we've started on a path of something or some thought that isn't really giving our lives the meaning we want. And Unity's fourth principle invites us to address this tripping point, if you will. Officially, the words are, through prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with the good of our understanding, or the God of our understanding. We align ourselves with the divine, whatever that might look like. And if you are atheist or agnostic, we align ourselves with our values. It's the same thing. The important part isn't that we're aligning ourselves with a name. It is that we're aligning ourselves with the values which make us who we are, which is the same thing, hopefully, as being in alignment with whatever your definition for God might be. I think of it as, let us create consciously with intention and attention. And as you all know from my happy birthday song, to help me to remember the 5 principles of unity, it's the take time to be still line. Question you're thinking. I'm not going to do it now. Yes, I am. One universal power, a network of all. Ideas lead to experiences. Take time to be still. You'll add more peace, or you'll live in peace. So it's ideas lead to experiences. And for me, it's easier to remember that than the whole long align your mind and blah, blah, blah. So ideas lead to experiences. Take time to be still. And part of that is, I'm going to give it to you in 4 different ideas. They are review, recharge, see if I can find my third one, renew, and then recreate. I'm going to go over them a little bit for you. The first one is review. Let me back up a little. Principle 3 is ideas lead to experiences. And the idea of this is whatever we hold in our consciousness is kind of how we see the world. So if we see the world from a place of anger and frustration, then we're going to find that those are the experiences that we notice and that we label that way. But if we see the same situation, but our consciousness is from a place of possibility and joy, then we'll see the good in it, and not the worry, and not the parts that are negative. The experiences themselves could at times be labeled as neutral, and then it's just what we do that say, yes, this is good and this is bad. For example, it's now a very warm day today. For some people, they love the heat, and they're like, woo, I'm heading out. And for other people, they don't like the heat. And so they're going to be in their rooms, in their air conditioning, because that is what they want. Doesn't change what the day is. The neutral part is, this is the weather. And then we make up the story about whether or not it's a pleasant thing or an unpleasant thing, depending on who we are and what our bodies need, and so on. So we have this powerful inkling here, which is that our minds help us to understand and make sense of our experiences. To some extent, you could think of this as consciousness creates. It is through what we think that we label things and create, whether or not it's a good thing or a not so good thing. If that's true, and that's at its very simplistic form, but if that's true, then wouldn't it make sense that we want to pay attention to the level of our consciousness? We want to pay attention to how we're thinking. And that's what step 4 is, which is then let us create consciously. And one way to do this is to take time to be still, so that we have the time to look at what we're doing and see if it aligns with where we want to be. And that's where these 4 things come in. To review, to recharge, to renew, and then to recreate. Let's start with review. In the book of Genesis, we're told that at the end of the creation story, whether you're Genesis chapter 1 or Genesis chapter 2, which both tell the creation story with slight differences, what's true is, at the end of every day, we're told that God looked at the work that God had done and saw that it was good. If it were me creating a planet or whatever and creating the stars or whatever the story might be, I would look at my checklist and go, oh, stars done, check, what's next? Never in my consciousness, and seldom, unfortunately, in my experience, have I gone, check, let's just enjoy that for a moment. Let's look at it and go, wow, that was awesome, before we move to the next step of our creation process. The time to review, the time to look at it and go, this was pretty nice, is something that I don't do often enough. And I'm going to guess that many of us are in that boat where it's like, one thing off my checklist, let's move to the next, let's move to the next, busy, busy, busy. But taking time to review is important, because not only do we celebrate the work that has already been done, but we reconnect with the whole reason why we started on that journey in the first place, whatever it might be. I'm thinking of my granddaughter, and learning to speak, and how there are times, and learning to walk as well, there are times when she might struggle over a word, and when she says it correctly, everybody's like clapping. There's this celebrating at every step of the way, which is very renewing. It's very uplifting. So first step is this idea of taking time to appreciate where we've come before we get into the next road and do it again. What does that mean for us? Well, maybe at the end of every day, you might consider reviewing your day, writing something in a journal or on your calendar app, maybe sending a note to someone. Before moving to the next step in a project, celebrate with the people around you about where we are. Have a donut and a coffee, and then move to the next one. Appreciation is actually part of stillness. Next, recharge. In our 21st century culture, rest is often confused with laziness. And in her book, Braving the Wilderness, Brené Brown talks about doing an event with Dr. Joan Halifax, who is a Buddhist teacher. And in preparation for their talk that evening, they meet in the ballroom in the afternoon for a dress rehearsal. And Brené says that after the dress rehearsal, she goes to Dr. Halifax and she says, and I quote, "I'm wiped, but I guess it's off to the meet and greet." Dr. Halifax looked at me and said, "I'm going to my room to rest before tonight. Why don't you do the same?" Brené Brown goes on to say, "I told her that sounded great, but I felt bad saying no." And Brené says, "I'll never forget what she said to me." She said, "Tonight we exhale and teach. Now it's time to inhale." There's the in-breath and the out-breath. I read that several years ago, and it's always stuck with me, so much so that I copy and pasted that excerpt. All of us need both the inhale and the exhale. If I asked you to hold your breath now and not inhale or exhale, or only exhale and then don't inhale, you would not be able to do that. Please don't. But imagine the wisdom of that rhythm of in and out, of give and take. And think of how much we deplete ourselves when we give, do, and forget to recharge ourselves. Think about the battery on your phone. That thing that is always with us. It's like it's a third hand. Our phone is always with us these days. But have you noticed what happens if you don't charge it? How it slows down, how it becomes dimmer, and finally it stops working completely. Well, perhaps we could use that same analogy for ourselves. That we need to plug ourselves in, turn off, rest, recharge. And when we do, then we operate at more efficiency. We think more clearly. Does anybody play Wordle? A few people play Wordle. Yeah, Ronnie's right on it. Pardon? Oh, I didn't know there was a Knuckle version. Oh. Canadian words on a Canadian Wordle called Knuckle, for the Knuckleheads. Lucky hoser. Oh, that's awesome. I did not know about that one. I do Wordle and Quordle sequence and octurtle sequence, and that's my nighttime routine. But what's interesting is I do that at night. And there are times when there is a word or two, and I'm like, I think I'm going to run out of spaces, and I'm not seeing the word. And I close it. Because I don't want to lose, but I know I'm not thinking clearly. The following morning, I'll open up that same puzzle, and it will be so clear. And I've noticed that happen over and over again. And what does that say for me? Other than great bedtime habit. But I think more clearly when I'm refreshed. Wow, light bulb moment. That's true for all of us. And yet, sometimes we just keep going and going and going like that Energizer bunny, but it's a fictional thing. It's a commercial. Don't believe the commercial. Think of stillness as being the charging station for your soul and your mind and your body. Rest. Another way that you can rest and recharge is to do what, again, the book of Genesis says, which is, on the seventh day, God rested. Like, that is a whole amount of time, people. 6 days of working and 1 full day of doing nothing except appreciating the work that you've done and appreciating what that might look like, the things that you value. The Jewish faith carries that idea to this day. They call it the Sabbath. The Sabbath is not for productive work. It is for eating and for singing and for reading and for reflecting and spending time with your family and for having intimate time with your partner. It is for remembering what's important and not being distracted by all those other things, that busy, busy, busy that happens the other 6 days of the week. Think of the power of that in terms of restoring your relationships, in terms of restoring yourself and your relationship to yourself. Rather than being seen as lazy, this time is seen as necessary. It honors life. It honors the things that we all claim to value, that we never seem to have enough time for. What if you could allow yourself even 12 hours of Sabbath time a week that you spend devoted to your care, the care of your partner, the care of your family, the care of your spirituality? How much more peace would you feel? Think of it as care for your soul. And one way to do that is literally to unplug. I have a friend who says Friday is her media-free day. So she doesn't even pick up her phone. For me, the very idea of that sends chills. That would not work for me At least not at the level of my consciousness now. That would not work for me. But the idea of taking an hour and not being too attached to that thing over there, which hangs on my, acts of my purse, really, might just free us up a little. And yet I would suggest not being too hard on those devices, because they have helped us to stay connected in various ways. I heard somebody was complaining about the fact that everybody's on their phone all the time these days. Well, that's true. Like in the old days, you'd like be on the Sky Train and you'd see people reading. They're reading on their phones now. You'd see people actually on their phone talking. That's the same. You see people doing things differently through their devices that we used to do without them. So I encourage you not to be too hard on the judgment when you see people on their phones, because you don't know what they're doing and what wonderful connections they could be making. And third, renew. Part of the reason for doing this stillness is that it gives you time to see different possibilities. I've never been able to find it, but there was a cartoon that I remember seeing years ago that I've never been able to find since. And it is, I'm pretty sure, a cartoon of Herman, you know, by Jim Unger. And what it shows is ramparts of an old-fashioned medieval castle, and the king is there with his soldiers, and they're all with their bows and arrows, and behind is somebody with a machine gun tapping the king on the shoulder, like trying to get his attention, because he's got a weapon that will get them out of whatever pickle they're in. And the king's like, no, I'm too busy. Taking time to be still allows us to look at things anew. And sometimes, if you've got a situation in your life and you're not quite sure, you haven't even given it voice perhaps, but you certainly haven't taken the time to kind of work out what the pluses and minuses and options might be, taking time to be still is a very powerful way of giving it some space. I was working on something just the other day, and I had a long drive to Chilliwack because I had a wedding rehearsal. And in that time, it was like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I could do that. There was the space that allowed me to look at options I would otherwise never have considered. If you have a trusted person to do that with, even better. It's still stillness. It's allowing everything else to fade away. And too often what we do is fill the time with something else. I used to walk I went through this period where I walked for, 45 minutes every morning with nothing. No earphones, no nothing. I just walked. I loved it. It felt awesome. So what did I do the following week? Plugged in my earphones and started listening to an Audible book. And it felt great too, but it wasn't the same. I hadn't given myself space to just enjoy the sound of the birds singing and the smell of the spring morning. All of that stuff gets kind of sidelined when you're focusing on many things. So try, if you can, to unplug. In Buddhism, of course, mindfulness is one of their main tenets. When walking, walk. When eating, eat. When sneezing, sneeze. One thing at a time and be with it. Gives you space for peace. So try that. And then the very last thing I'll say to you, and that is recreate. I started out by saying that the third principle is that consciousness creates, that when we are thinking, how we are thinking, creates our experience of life. It helps to respond to how life is showing up for us. Yes, there are going to be times when life is not that pleasant. Yes, there are going to be things that are uncomfortable and that we have to deal with. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is the consciousness that says, this is what I'm facing. How am I going to respond? My consciousness creates. I can choose how I'm going to respond. I am going to create consciously. And what that sometimes means is that I'm going to recreate. That's recreation. Recreate. It means that we focus again on what matters, that we come back to principle and go, what other idea could I have about this that brings more peace? I'm going to choose that. We create all the time. It is in stillness that we have the opportunity to recreate, to realign where we want to go. We see this in the Muslim tradition. What they do is pray 5 times a day. Why do they do that? Because they want to make sure that they are realigning their thinking with what matters for them. Recreate. Perhaps at every meal, we might do the same. Rather than 5 times a day, maybe just morning, noon, and night as we eat. We give thanks, and then we think, is this day going the way I would want my life to go? If it isn't, I'm going to recreate it. And it's never too late. So here we go. Review. Take time to appreciate even the little steps. Recharge. Take time to rest. Unplug. Inhale and exhale. Renew. This is meditation. Take time to be open and sit or drive or walk. But be open to new ideas. And then recreate. Take time to reset your intention. That way your life, which already is a living prayer, will be the prayer and life that you want. And I'll leave you with this little story from the indigenous community. It's called Waiting for the Soul. An elder told a young traveler, "You walk too fast. Your body has arrived, but your soul has not caught up." "How do I wait for my soul?" said the traveler. "Sit under a tree. Listen to the wind. Let your soul find you again." Take time to be still. Your life is a prayer. I bless you.
have to say that was just incredible. Thank you, Rhona.
This whole world starts a getting me down, and people are just too much me to face. I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space. On the roof it's peaceful as can be, and there the world below don't bother me, no, no. So when I come home feeling tired and beat, I'll go up when the air is fresh and sweet. I'll get far away from the hustling crowd and all that rat race noise up in the street. On the roof, that's the only place I know. You just have to wish to make it so. Let's go up on the roof. At night the stars, they put on a show for free. Darling, you can share it all with me. That's what I said, keep on telling you that right smack dab in the middle of town I found a paradise that's trouble-proof. And if this old world starts a getting you down, there's room enough for two up on the roof.
Hi everyone, I'm Maxine, and here are today's announcements. Our Monday morning meditation sessions are taking a summer break, for a few weeks anyways, until after Labor Day. And our prayer team individually continues to pray and uplift the people on our prayer list, so we keep that going. To add a person to the prayer list, please fill in the prayer request slip found in your welcome packet with the person's first name and the first initial of their last name, and place it in the offering basket. You can also send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or app. Please mark your calendars to join our booth at New West Pride Street, which runs from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, August 16th. Coming up pretty quick. We are asking for help to set up the booth starting at 2 p.m. The sign-up sheet is in the fellowship hall, so please join us for this fun and meaningful event. You may have noticed that Monistic has done an amazing job and our gardens are beautiful. We are looking for some new members to join the gardening club to do some weeding and pruning and watering. If you like gardening, please see Reverend Rhona, and we'll add you to the roster. Our goal is to have at least 2 people, preferably more, to set up to spread the workload. Many hands make light work. Unity of New Westminster is fully self-supported, and we are grateful for your gifts, which support our community's message. Many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments, which are especially helpful for our budgeting. If you are not placing anything in the contribution basket today, please bless it silently when it comes to you, then pass the basket along. For our online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording. And please like and subscribe to our channel so we can reach more people. Please give freely from a place of abundance and gratitude. Thank you. We are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And you know what I'm going to say? We are so blessed. We're so blessed, Carl, for your music. Thank you. Thank you, Maxine, for reading our announcements today. Chelsea, for reading our daily word. Yay! Thank you, Stuart and Valerie, who are at the back doing audio-visual. Thank you to Chris, who is our usher today. Thank you to the people who set up and take down and are making coffee. And thank you for the people who are working behind the scenes in the office and in the garden. Nothing here happens by accident. It's all just from the village working together in community. So we are so very blessed. Thank you. Please stay and join for coffee. And shall we move into a circle and we'll sing our peace song and our prayer for protection.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, may this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. On earth, and let it begin with me. I am the light of God, I am am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God. We are the love of God. We are the power of God. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is swell.
Thank you.